You want to be in the vlog? Let's do a vlog. 8:51, back at it with another travel day. I usually don't travel this much, but for some reason it coincided a lot with the beginning of this vlog. I'm traveling out to see a client that's in the same building as Constant Contact out in Waltham, Massachusetts. I try to make a huge effort to see clients face to face whenever possible. See Hannah.
Okay, yep, whatever.
Okay, thanks.
Do you mind signing in?
Oh, sure. Hey. How are you?
I have been doing a lot of content planning, and so I was trying to do some research around that, and then try to give engineering some more specific blog topics around that. So I wanted to make sure that I'm using the tools correctly. Mm-hmm. And I want to just kind of show you what my research process has been and make sure that that's like the right thing to do.
Sure.
I want to come up with a list of kind of engineering blog topics, and they gave me a list of things that they think are challenges. It doesn't seem to me like people are searching on them.
Right.
And so part of it is also like...
making sure there's demand for the...
Right, I'm using it kind of like a market research tool,
Yep.
but I'm also getting... It's funny because I'm getting this sort of like pushback, like, what? No, people are definitely searching for that. I'm like, people aren't, and so I want to make sure that I'm using the tools correctly so that I can say for certainty, no, I'm serious, people aren't.
And it's funny you just mentioned that as a market research tool, because I just did my video for yesterday saying how that's what this really is. So the thing I would do with this is try to separate Cloudera Managed Service as a keyword, like literally, versus like, what is that actual topic?
Yeah.
And then try to find how people might be looking for that if they are. So like, I'm trying to wrap my head around, what does this even mean? This stuff is so complicated. So that's a conversion keyword. That's not for a piece of content. They're looking for a solution.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes, I have some other ones where they might be actually looking for...
Yeah. So what I
tips.
would do, like I was thinking about this before I came here. I wanted to try to get really hands-on and concrete. What I would do is take that keyword list, maybe make a few different rows or columns. So like to categorize them, I might make one that says like intent. That would be the goal, to establish if there's volume for it or not, is to try to think of all the different ways somebody could search for like that, what that end page is going to be.
Yep.
And then just look at search volume. Did I show you this plugin?
I don't think so. Yeah.
So it's a free plugin. It's called Keywords Everywhere. Just to step back, if I was being honest about the direction of like solution and service pages and keywords, create a page for each specific service that you offer.
Yeah, which we did.
Do that, be done with it, and then move to actually switching the process around to find keywords and topics that you know have volume that you can create content around.
Yeah.
So I think you can appease the product managers, etc., by just saying, okay, we'll create a page.
Yeah, which is, that exists. We have that page.
So it exists.
And we're getting traffic to it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, so.
Do that and then move on and move towards
okay.
informational and content.
Yeah, and that's, so basically my next thing is to give engineering a list of blog topics that I'd like them to write on.
It's going to seem a little weird for me to draw like a very small diagram, but on the board, you're first finding a seed topic. So that's like step number one. What the product people did is they jumped right to, well, we think we have the specific topic within the main topic.
Yeah.
Resource management. However, I think that's where you would need to intersect, right? And then
back into it.
Yeah. Start with your seed topic. Use that tool I just showed you, Answer the Public. It's kind of like if you want to write content around Hadoop, this is it. These are your options to choose from.
Yeah, this is great.
That literally have the word Hadoop in it. And if there's nothing here, there's nothing there, right?
Right.
So like the data is just going to tell you, at a certain point, maybe you just want to write something about that, but it's not going to get SEO traffic.
Right.
You know.
And that's what I was actually making a list of topics and saying, okay, some things we need to have a point of view on.
Yeah.
They're not searched a lot, but we promote those socially.
Okay, so our meeting got paused for a moment, which was actually kind of good because it got me thinking as to what would really provide value for this client. What I realized is they need a process a repeatable process. And so what I'm going to give to them is just a basic framework for how to come up with, vet, and prioritize content ideas. I'm not sure where my client is, but I think I've got a pretty solid process down for them, which I will share with you a little bit later. In fact, I'll just share it with you now. There's really two ways to come up with a final topic, in which you find seed topics first and then you find specific topics after that. I'm pretty excited about this, so hopefully my client likes this, and we'll see how it goes. I put together something for you while you were out.
I love it.
It actually gave me a minute to think about your entire situation.
All my questions.
Yeah, I made a little doc. I think what would really kind of like solve a lot of your problems is just to have sort of a repeatable process.
That's not funny. I wrote that down. Your
Yeah.
research process. What's your research process?
And so actually it was funny, I never really formulated it in quite a way here, which I think you can actually circumvent that entire two-step process by going straight to SEMrush if there's a competitor or a content competitor that just by looking at the content that they rank for, you can find specific topics that you can publish. If when you're looking at them, you're like, oh, well, they're getting a lot of traffic, but maybe they don't deserve it because maybe their content's not that good.
Right,
and you could do better. Once you arrive at that specific topic, then it's just a matter of vetting it and making sure that you're choosing the right one and prioritizing. And Google has actually said relevance is their like #1 ranking factor. There was a keyword I found, cat won't stop attacking feet. All the results were just for cat won't stop attacking, like in general, but not specific to feet. And I know it's a weird, silly little example, but like there's actually probably differences.
So I think I should take another pass at all of this.
Okay.
I also really like doing this myself personally. Like it's just.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's super fun. And as a content person, as a market person,
Yeah.
nobody else on my team knows anything about the market or the product. So
Right.
I love this. So I feel like I have enough to be dangerous, and then maybe we can do another session like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want this cup?
Actually, just leave this here. I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to go out this way.
Awesome. What is this?
A whole bunch of interesting stuff on that desk.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a great meeting. I can't wait to share it with you. In fact, I want to kind of cover some of what we talked about in that meeting on the whiteboard over here. Probably need to get this up on the whiteboard first though. So what we're really talking about here is a process to always consistently find topic ideas that have SEO opportunity. You basically have two paths or two ways to get to your finish line. So we're starting with the finish line with the end in mind, and we're working backwards. The finish line, of course, is you end up with a topic that you can write about to get search traffic. That topic, of course, actually represents one piece of content matching an intent. And all I mean by that is you can have a piece of content with what looks like several different keywords, but they all really drive at the same intent or the same problem that the user is trying to solve. And of course, it needs to hit a few criteria. It needs to have some volume. It can even just have a volume of 10 searches a month. I've seen that still drive a lot of traffic because of all the long tail. So if you find a keyword with 10 searches a month, do not shy away from that. It should have a ranking gap, so it needs to have one or more of these basic ranking gap areas. An authority gap, as in domain authority, a relevance gap, and a qualitative gap. I'm not going to cover those all in detail here, but you need to be choosing topics that you can potentially rank for. And then you need to intuit or assume or figure out that it's going to send you quality traffic. By quality, I don't just mean leads. It could be anything based upon what your goals are. Maybe you just want top of funnel traffic. Maybe you want traffic that's going to bring assisted conversions, or maybe you really just want traffic for branding and general awareness. There's two different types of paths to get there. First path, number one, is much more basic. I think anybody, even just learning SEO now, can learn and wrap their heads around path number one. And it works very well consistently, meaning that it's very rare that I've jumped into a situation and not had success finding keyword and topic ideas with path number one. It's broken into two parts. Number one, you need to find and identify seed topics. What a seed topic is something that's very broad, like cameras, or like chairs, or like, in the case of this client, data lakes. Think of like something that would have a Wikipedia page for it. You can use a few great tools out there to help you find broad topics. This is often really useful if you are an SEO and you're not a part of that industry and you don't know what the broad topics are. You can take one broad topic you already know of, like cameras, and go to the Moz Keyword Explorer or go to Bloomberry and enter that topic in, and both of these tools are going to give you related topics based off the first one that you entered. So if you go to the Keyword Explorer and you enter cameras, you might get lighting, or you might get film development. And then step number two is you need to take those seed keyword topics and bring them into a long tail tool to get specific topic ideas off of that. You can use tools like Answer the Public or keywordtool.io or suval.com. I used to be using Google Search Suggest a lot for this manually, but since they have now brought that back down to only 4 suggestions, I find Suval to be a great alternative to this because you can still use the Keywords Everywhere plugin and use Suval, and as you type it gives those to you automatically. It's much faster than using Answer the Public or keywordtool.io, as great as they are. One quick note about seed topics is I want to encourage you to think not only close to your product, but broadly. If somebody's looking for a camera, that could be for many different situations or problems that they're trying to solve. Maybe some person looking for a camera wants to do family videos. Maybe some person wants to do marketing and vlogging videos like me. If I figure somebody's looking to buy a camera and they also want to do nature photography, maybe I want to enter nature or bird watching. That's especially effective if you want to and are expecting to drive top of funnel traffic or just broad and branding awareness traffic. So that brings you to your finish line. Then you have your topics. Path number two is one that I've used a lot, but just today was the first time that I actually realized this was like a more advanced and sort of path around going through the first process. And that is to use competitor data, and specifically by that I mean the Pages report in SEMrush, or I'm sure Ahrefs have something very similar. The things to consider with this path, it is more advanced. Once you start diving into SEMrush or Ahrefs, these tools have a lot of data, a lot of nuances, so if you're not feeling more advanced yet or more comfortable, you might want to stick to path number one, or just go into path number two and just know that there's going to be maybe some more learning hurdles before you get really, really comfortable. The other limitation to path number two is you need to have a competitor, or what I call a content competitor, to put into the tool. So if you don't even know what domain name to enter into there, this path number two is not even going to be useful for you. A little side note, I did come up with a way to find a competitor or a content competitor. And all I mean by this is a content competitor is somebody that publishes around the same topic or industry, but they might not directly compete with your product or service. So oftentimes you could find the magazine or the blog or the news website in your industry and use that to get competitive data. It doesn't have to be a competitor literally. You can use BuzzSumo to do this. So again, if your topic is cameras, but you're not sure who to plug in for path number two, go to BuzzSumo, enter cameras in there, and then that's going to give you all the sites that have gotten the most shares around that topic. What you want to do is once you find the competitor and plug them in, look for their highest traffic content. So when you get to the Pages report, it's going to be sorted by how many keywords each piece of content ranks for. So start at the top, click on each keyword, the number of each keyword, and dive in and look for if they're ranking for relevant keywords that you would also want to rank for. You can apply filters to get more advanced results. So one thing I've often done, a little advanced tip here, is if a site like HubSpot, for example, they have blog in their URL, you can run a filter on the Pages report and type blog, and that way you only see their blog content. Another little hack here is if a website has dates in their URLs, like 2012, you could put that in as a filter and uncover only their old content, because that might be an advantage where you can rank. This process is a little bit more advanced because as you're uncovering pages and the keywords they rank for, you're also making a little bit of a judgment call as to if they fit the criteria that you're looking for as you go. But if you're good at kind of calculating that as you're finding topics, it's a great path. Lastly, I wanted to highlight a road here that people often take, but it's a huge mistake, and quite frankly, it's why I'm in business half the time. Road number 3 is if you guess, if you try to rely on luck, or if you're just lazy and you don't want to do this work. People might just come up with a topic out of thin air. Like my client today, she said, well, our product managers, they have this topic we really want to write about. Trust us, it has search volume. People want to know about it. Yet when you go to look to see if it has volume, that topic has no volume at all. They can post around that, but they're not going to get search traffic because nobody's searching for it. This is kind of like firing without a target, or it's like firing without even the concept of a target. If you don't know what keyword you're targeting or what topic you're targeting, you can't expect to get search traffic unless it's just by luck or happenstance. I hope this little map here makes your life a little bit easier and gives you a repeatable, trustworthy process to never run out of great content ideas that will drive SEO traffic. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you on the next one. I didn't really like that ending the way I pointed.